UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. I am your intrepid host, Marzulli. Welcome to another episode of UFO Disclosure. In my opinion, the most important disclosure event happened in the halls of Congress in 2023. I'm going to show you that clip and I'll weigh in on it. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Folks, if you're trying to navigate market turbulence, why not set course to the Noble Gold Investments safe haven? With global uncertainty looming, your savings and retirement plans are under siege. But there's one asset that stood the test of time, and that, my friends, is gold. Unlock the peace of mind that comes with owning gold, the ultimate safe haven. And if precious metals are new to you, Noble Gold Investments will hold your hand through the whole process. They have a team of experts who will guide you every step of the way to safety. Thousands of investors have sheltered their retirement savings with Noble Gold Investments. Don't leave yourself exposed to the markets right now. It's way too risky. With gold at an all-time high and looking to climb even further, it's the perfect time to invest. Open a Noble Gold Investments IRA and secure your future with a free gold bullion coin. Act now before it's too late. 877-646-5347, 877-646-5347, or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. So while Congress really hasn't gotten much in the way of disclosure, as you know, there's no movies, there's no films. You get things like, we really don't know what these are, and all this Texas two-step stuff going on. And Congress, the congressional hearings to me were an absolute joke. They didn't get very far. However, David Grush has been on Tucker Carlson. He also appeared at the congressional giving testimony in Congress. I got it out finally. And I think you'll find this clip absolutely incredible. Now, he's a whistleblower. Do I believe him? Absolutely. I'm a student of body language. What we're looking at, this man's telling the truth as he knows it. And what's amazing is he says something like this, which you'll hear in a second, that we have biologics were recovered. In other words, the bodies of these entities which do not originate on planet Earth. Are they extraterrestrial? No. In my opinion, they are not extraterrestrial. They are interdimensional. And this is what we're looking at. This is why we've created all of our films on UFOs. Here's a clip. I'll weigh in on the other side.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to our witnesses who are testifying today. I want to thank each of you for being here to discuss a topic of grave importance to our national security. Earlier this year, a Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast of my home state of South Carolina. Since the Roswell incident in 1947, many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects crisscrossing our skies, whether these are UAPs or weather phenomena, advanced technology from American allied or enemy forces, or something more out of this world. Mr. Grush, a couple of questions for you too, sir, this morning. What percentage of UAPs do you feel are adequately investigated by the U.S. government, of the 5% that are reported?
I can only speak for my personal leadership over at NGA. I tried to look at every report that came through that I could triage. So,
do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super. Thank you. And I yield back.
So what are we to think about that? There's David Grush in front of Representative Mace and states on the record that our government, your government, has retrieved bodies from the crash. Were they human? The biologics were non-human. You know, you gotta just deal with that. We have to deal with it. Some of us, like myself, I've been dealing with it for decades. I know that there were bodies that were crashed from Roswell. Have I seen them? No. But I'll tell you a story. Years ago, I interviewed someone from the military. I'll just leave it at that. This man was retired. He was very high up in the ranks, And I interviewed him to get some sort of an idea for my second book in the Nephilim trilogy. This is years ago. This is circa 2001, 2002, 3, somewhere in that. Folks, honestly, it might have been before that. It might have been in the late 90s, because the Nephilim came out in 98, 99. So it's right around the turn of a century, but I digress. And I was throwing a lot of softball questions at him, real easy questions. And he was kind of slumped back in his lawn chair, sipping lemonade. It was a summer day. And then I threw him the fastball. And I said, well, what was it like when you saw the bodies from the crashed UFO from Roswell? He sits up in his chair. He looks around like this. All of a sudden, his entire countenance changed right in front of me. Is that a smoking gun? No. Did I see the bodies? Absolutely not. Did he have pictures of them? If he did, I certainly didn't see them. But his body language spoke volumes. He saw something. He knew. And I've talked to other people in and around the whole Roswell event, and in my opinion, it was absolutely real. Thanks so much for watching. Check out all of our films, streaming.lamarzulli.net. There are 28 films to stream. That's a huge corpus of work. 28 films to stream. 13 books, and number 14 is getting close to being finished. We'll have that out pretty soon. Anyway, folks, number 9 and 10 of the UFO series will be out probably the end of February. Even though we have finished them, they are basically done. We're just kind of cleaning up some of the stuff. We're going to wait because we just got Roswell out. People need time to breathe. But there'll be 10 films in the series. We're going to create a whole box set for the series. You'll want to give that to your loved ones. Pop the popcorn and show it to your friends, your neighbors, and your loved ones. Anyway, folks, lamarzulli.net, lamarzulli.net. I will be back tomorrow. Remember, folks, UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago.
The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucer. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brizzell was the man who discovered the saucer. Colonel William Blanchard of the Roswell Air Base refuses to give details of what the flying disc looks like.